What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. In this video, I'm going to be shooting a car alternator with my 416 Ruger, and I'm going to be using a combination of hand loads and factory ammo. So for the hand loads, I'm going to be using some 350 grain and 400 grain brass solids, and for the factory ammo, I'm going to be using some Hornady 400 grain dangerous game solids. And these are steel jacketed bullets traveling at 2,400 feet per second. And for the hand loads, the 350 grain brass solid has a muzzle velocity of 2,650 feet per second, which produces 5,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And the 400 grain brass solid is loaded to 2,450 feet per second, which amounts to 5,300 foot-pounds of muzzle energy. And the rifle I'm going to be using is a Ruger M77 Hawkeye guide gun. It has a 20-inch barrel. And I have this Hogue stock, which has an aluminum bed block. I have this beautiful leather cartridge carrier made by Mason Leather. And if you want to get one of these, he can make these for basically any cartridge. Look at how thick those loops are. They hold the cartridges nice and tight, not too tight, not too loose. And I've used this for several bear hunting seasons already here in Pennsylvania, and these loops are still holding the cartridges tight after several seasons. As you can see, holds that round nice and snug. So use the promo code NY10 to get 10% off if you want to get one of these. And the link is in the description below this video. That's masonleather.com. And I have an Athlon 1-6 power scope, some Alaska Arms LLC quick detach rings, and I have some custom night sights from Tool Tech Gun Sight. Check that out, guys. You see those two dots right there? Those have tritium vials in them. So I have some night sights on this rifle for when I go to Alaska. I'll be able to defend myself in the dark from brown bears. So the alternator I'm going to be shooting at in this video is from my Toyota Corolla, and I've already shot at it with some 308 M80 ball, some 300 Win Mag hand loads, and some 300 Rum hand loads, including some 300 Rum steel core AP hand loads. If you haven't seen those videos yet, I'll leave a link in the top right corner to all of them. And if you're interested in seeing more of my 416 Ruger content, I'll leave a link in the top right corner to my 416 Ruger playlist. I've done a lot of penetration tests and hand loading videos with this cartridge and with this rifle. So I'm really curious to see what the 416 Ruger will do to this alternator. Those 350 grain brass solids are monster penetrators. I was able to penetrate through level 4 ceramic body armor with them. If you want to see that test, I'll leave a link in the top right corner. And I was also able to penetrate through a solid steel lock with those 350 grain brass solids. And I'll leave a link to that video in the top right corner as well. And if you're not familiar with the 416 Ruger, it produces basically the same amount of energy as a 416 Rigby or 416 Remington, but it does it out of a standard length case. So this case has the same overall length as a 300 Win Mag or a 3006 versus the 416 Rigby and the 416 Remington are magnum length. And the advantage to that is you have a shorter bolt throw, so that makes for quick reloads. And also the rifle is a lot more affordable because it's based off of a standard length action, so the receiver is shorter than a safari grade receiver, and therefore you can save money on these rifles. But I can hand load the 416 Ruger up to 5,500 foot-pounds of muzzle energy, which puts this close to a 458 lot in terms of muzzle energy, and that's over 500 foot-pounds more energy than a 458 Win Mag, and that's out of a 20-inch barrel. So this has a 20-inch barrel, and I'm getting those numbers out of a 20-inch barrel, guys. So very impressive. Very nice, compact stopping rifle for dangerous game. So let's see what happens, guys. This is crazy, guys. 416 Ruger, 400 grain brass solid hand loads, 2,400 feet per second. Just passed straight through this alternator. Look at that. That is just insane. It cracked this whole housing here. Look at that big crack there. And this whole piece just flew off. Look at that. That is just insane. Look at that exit hole. Monstrous exit hole. I can fit my whole finger in there. But this whole top piece just got blown off, and you can see the brass there penetrated through this wheel. I don't know what that thing is, but it's like a pretty thick wheel, and it just went all the way through. That is insane, guys. So really impressive. Check that out. So it came in through here and it went out through there. So insane. So let's hit it again. This time I'm going to hit it with the 350 grain brass solid, and if there's anything left of this after that, we'll hit it with the 400 grain steel jacketed solid. See what happens. But that is just ridiculous. Look at that. .350 grain brass solid versus Alternator 416 Ruger. All right, guys. Second shot with the 416 Ruger. 350 grain brass solids, hand loads, 2,616 feet per second. Look what it did here. Just tore through all that metal. Look at that. That's insane. We got this piece of the housing there. That is just insane. Look at that. Just zipped right through. I did hit high there. I'm gonna aim lower on the next one, but look at this chunk of brass right here. Check that out. It's part of the bullet. You can actually see the pressure grooves there. Check that out. More brass in there. But that is just insane. So I got to aim a little bit lower on the next shot, but the energy just completely cracked this whole thing. Look at that. This part is bent right here. It looks like when it came through here, bounced off the wheel there, and it bent that. That's solid metal, guys. Absolutely insane. And it looks like it cracked this piece here. I don't know what that does, but just absolutely insane. I'm going to aim a little bit lower so we can get more of the middle of the alternator. So I'm going to take one more shot with the 350 grain solid in the middle, see what happens. But got pieces over here. Look at this chunk of aluminum here, part of the housing. Got another piece here. Look at that. So impressive. Let's hit it again. All right, guys, 416 Ruger versus Alternator. Shot number 3, 400 grain, dangerous game, solid, steel jacketed bullet, Hornady factory ammo. And look what happened here. This whole piece here is just sheared off. Got this metal housing sitting here. Look at that. That's insane, guys. And here's the inside. Looks like we hit right there with that 400 grain DGS, and we just broke the whole pin here, and energy just shattered this whole thing. Absolutely crazy, guys. So let's hit it again. I'm going to aim for this area here now, and let's see what happens. But check this out. This rod just broke, or this shaft. It's absolutely insane. All right, guys, 416 Ruger, 400 grain, dangerous game, solid. Second shot. Check this out. Looks like we hit right up here. We penetrated through this metal here, penetrated through all this stuff here. Check that out. It's insane. But this thing is basically done for. It's just totally annihilated. Get the devastation here. Absolutely insane. Wow. Look at that. So let's hit it again. We'll hit it with the 400 grain brass solid. And I want to see if I can hit right in the middle there and just blow this whole thing apart. All right, guys, last shot. 416 Ruger versus Alternator. We hit right here with that 400 grain brass solid. And look at how it penetrated through that metal. That's insane. Tore up those wires. And it actually bent this piece right here. As you can see, it's supposed to be flat like that. And it bent it up. Look at that. So it came in like this, hit this thing, and then bent it up. But look at the devastation from the 416 Ruger. Absolutely insane. Just totally annihilating this alternator. We got loose wire here. Check that out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you're interested in seeing more 416 Ruger, check out my 416 Ruger playlist. I'll leave a link in the top right corner. And until next time, take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps: prepare, practice, and persevere.